कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकि कोकिलम्। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताया पतये नमः। जयत्याश्रितसन्त्रास ध्वान्तविध्वंसनोदयः प्रभावान् सीतया देव्या परमव्योमभास्करः परमव्योमभास्करः।
श्रीमते निगमान्त महादेशिकाय नमः। While we began Srimad Ramayanam, our narration through our episodes, we began when Rama was 41, Sita was 35, she was pregnant, she had expressed her wish to go to the forest, Rama had agreed to fulfill that wish. Incidentally, it happened so that due to the wrong comments being passed by the subjects, Rama was forced to banish Sita to the forest. Lakshmana did so. Sita was escorted to Valmiki's ashramam. The worried Valmiki was wondering who could be that one perfect man if it was not Rama. That is when Narada Maharishi comes and confirms it is the same Rama whom Valmiki had mistaken is actually the repository of 16 auspicious attributes. While Valmiki was not fully convinced with Narada Maharishi's answer, he reached the waters of Tamasa along with his Sishya Bharadwaja. On his sojourn to the hermitage, he saw a pair of Krauncha birds. He saw a hunter hit one of the birds, and that shokam, that sorrow manifested into the form of a shloka, and that shloka was Manishada yat pratishthantvam agamashashvati samaha yat krauncha mitunadekam avadhihi kamamohitam. So he cursed the hunter and returned to his hermitage. That is when he saw Brahma, who had come on his own accord to the hermitage. He asked if a Maharishi such as him was adept or capable enough to curse a person. That is when Brahma comments upon that particular shloka which Valmiki had mistakenly thought it was a curse. It was not a curse, it was a blessing, and it was a blessing to write or chronicle the life history of Rama, who was intermittently separated from Sita by the act of a particular demon called Ravana. So after having received the blessings of Brahma, who said that all the incidents which have happened till now in the life history of Rama, both which are known to the public and which are known privately, Rahasyam cha Prakasham cha, both Rahasyam and Sadasyam shall be known to him. On his palm, he could see it. Just imagine like a tab, he can see it. Like how a gooseberry can be clearly seen to the naked eyes if it is placed on the palm. After having said this, Valmiki had to compose. Meanwhile, please understand, Sita was in her trimesters. So she was also to be attended to. Every day Valmiki would narrate that particular sargam, that particular chapter which he had composed in Srimad Ramayanam of Rama's life history to Sita. And Sita, as a dutiful mother who wanted her children, even while at womb, to listen to good thoughts and good shlokas, would listen patiently. After having uttered Srimad Ramayanam and after having composed sarga after sarga, it so happens in Uttara Kandam that there is one incident which says that Shatrughna, the last of the brothers in Rama's lineage, comes to the ashramam of Valmiki to receive his blessings. He is oblivious of the fact that Sita was in the hermitage. As the Bhagavatottama, the best of devotees called Shatrughna, is about to leave the hermitage, Sita delivers the pair of two sons, twins, Lava and Kusha. So these children were raised, were nurtured under the guardianship of Valmiki Maharshi. Valmiki, as he was in the process of composing the shlokas of Srimad Ramayanam, of Rama's life history, one kandam after the other, he kept teaching the children. Chaturvimshat sahasrani shlokana muktavan rishihi tatha sarga shataf pancha shatkandani tathottaram. So he composed a compendium of 24,000 shlokas, not exactly 24,000, roughly 24,000, distributed into 7 cantos. How do we know that? Here he says, Pancha Shat Kandani, 5 and the 6th, 5th and the 6th, which means there are 6 kandams plus Tathottaram. Then the Uttara Kandam was also composed. So there is often a question in the various public forums. Ramayanam stops with Ramapattabhishekam. Sita getting pregnant, Rama sending Sita to the forest, 2 children being born, then the single mother called Sita nurturing her 2 children. All this is not found in the original Ramayanam, is a claim which is untrue. All our Purvacharyas, all our preceptors, the peerless acharyas whom we have had, be it in the form of commentators like Tilaka, Shivasahaya, Maheshwara Tirtha, Govindaraja, Udali and so on, all of them have commented upon Uttara Kandam. When commentary is made by our revered preceptors on certain kandams, it means that those kandams are genuine, because there may be certain verses which have been inserted in the later times. Those acharyas will call out those verses. They will say, this particular verse is not found in my manuscript. This particular verse is not found in any of the manuscripts that I have seen. Just to give you an example, in Yuddha Kandam, while we are going to discuss, there is one juncture where Rama invokes the blessings of Surya Bhagavan, Surya Narayana, upon the advice of Agastya, called Aditya Hridayam Punyam, Sarva Shatru Vinashanam. I have had the opportunity to talk about Aditya Hridayam in many forums. Beautiful work, very popular. But Govindaraja in his commentary called Bhushanam states, in the manuscripts that I have gathered, I can clearly state that Aditya Hridayam is not found in the original Valmiki Ramayanam. After saying so, he says, I will still comment on it because it is a very beautiful hymn, very popular, revered by all the devotees. So, if there are verses, if there are chapters which are interpolations which have been inserted later, our acharyas would call it. For Uttara Kandam, none of them state that it is falsehood. They state it is a truth and it is integral to Ramayanam. But why is there this thought in the last few years that Uttara Kandam is not a part of the original Ramayanam? Because there are certain incidents which we find that people upon reading it will question us. We will be put into a catch-22 situation. Since we cannot answer and we do not have an answer, it is better to say that this Kandam itself is not found in the original Ramayana. Not so. So many acharyas have commented. In fact, in the South, Vedanta Deshika and Raghuvira Gadyam also brings the essence of Uttara Kandam. The mystic poets called Alvars to talk about Uttara Kandam. Even to the Kambaramayanam in the Tamil, there is an Uttara Kandam part to it. So, Valmiki is the one who has composed Uttara Kandam too, and it has happened really in Rama's life. Because it is uncomfortable to us, we should not discard it. So here he says, Panchashat Kandani Tatottharam. Thereby, Valmiki also states one more aspect. Kavyam Ramayanam Kritsnam Sitayas Charitam Mahat Paulastya Vadhamityevam Chakara Charitavrataha. I have composed this Ramayanam of so many shlokas. I have called it Ramayanam in the hindsight. Valmiki says, I should have called it by other names. Kavyam Ramayanam Kritsnam Sitayas Charitam Mahat. I should have called it the Charitram of Sita. Rama is there throughout, but she is the one who adds more value to the book. He says, Sitayas Charitam Mahat Paulastya Vadham Ityevam. Or I could have called it the Charitram, the compendium that talks about the death of the one who has come in the lineage of the Rishi called Pulastya. So Pulastya Vamshavali is Ravana. So he was called Paulastya. and he was killed. Paulastya vadham ityevam chakara charita vrataha, says Valmiki. Thereby, it could have been called by many names. Now comes a question. Sir, Ramayanam is male dominated. It talks only about Rama, the male. If you get into the original work, you will understand how much of importance has been accorded to Sita. In fact, there are many instances and many shlokas that talk more importantly about Sita than Ram. So this patriarchy, these debates of Rama's given more importance will not work, because the verbal testimony, which is the Mukhya Pramanam, Ramayanam does not support. It gives equal importance to Rama and Sita. In fact, one step more importance to Sita than Rama. So after having composed this, Valmiki thought it is high time that I teach the best of the children about this, because the next generation should always be taught about the Vedic civilization. That is when he picks up the two children of Rama and Sita called Lava and Kusha. Lava and Kusha were never told by their mother Sita that Rama is the father. So these two children with a beautiful voice were taught. So, prasanno valkalam kaschit dadautabhyam mahayashaha. The moment these two children were taught Ramayanam and they were singing so beautifully, different Maharishis and Munis in the forest gathered. One gave the children the deer skin, the other gave them Japamala, the other Rishi gave them Kamandalam, the other Rishis gave them Tanpura. So they were adept with the blessings of these Rishis and singing village after village, town after town. They reached the city of Ayodhya, and looking at these two young boys sing so beautifully in such a sweet voice, a poem which the world has never heard or seen, the brothers escorted these two children to the court of Rama. But look at karma. These two children were oblivious of the fact that they were singing the life history of Rama, which is Ramayana, and of Sita, who is their mother, the father and the mother, without realizing that the one who had given birth was Sita, the one whom were singing in front was Rama. Karma has its own way. Rama too did not know that these two children were his children. Though Paramatma chose to be born as Rama, he wanted to be as a simple human being. He wanted to lead the life of a simple human being. He was also not aware that these two children were his own children. But the moment these two children started singing Ramayana in their beautiful voice, the citizens of Ayodhya gathered. They were extremely relishing it. At that point in time, it is said, Rama thought for a moment, I am seated on this throne, I will never be able to relish this work. I have to be amidst the people. So he quietly walked down the steps and got amidst the people, and the people were so engrossed in this listening of Ramayana that they were unaware that Rama was standing amidst them. So the previous question we had asked, though the incidents of Ramayana had happened previously and Valmiki could see it only later, was his report and compendium being agreed upon by Rama, whose biography was Ramayana actually is? That is when we need to understand, when the boys were reciting Ramayana and were enacting Ramayana, Rama was very much witness and he did not make a single change, because whatever had happened in his life was recorded by Valmiki. So this is an itihasa because Valmiki lived during the times of Rama. Though it was a compendium written little later in Rama's life, it is completely a Mukhya Pramanam, because Rama, who is the Nayaka of Srimad Ramayanam, had vouched for his authenticity. So these particular children impressed their very own father, who is the Nayaka of Ramayanam.
Dear Astika reader, I am happy to be authoring a two-part book on the Ramayana in English. The first part is slated for release in the year 2024. The book aims to recreate and retell the Ramayana of Valmiki, conforming to the ancient commentaries and other allied literature. To receive notifications of the book release, kindly register with www.deshikadaya.org/books. Namaskaram.